Welcome back. You're still tuned into Trading Hour here on CNBC-TV18, and let's get a conversation going on the market. We have Amit Gupta joining us. He's VP and Fund Manager at ICICI Securities. Amit, thanks a lot for joining us. This is Pavitra. You know, if we have been talking about how the market is very range-bound, how there's not much happening on an index level, but if someone is to look for opportunities that, you know, still provide potential in this market, take us through some top holdings that you have. I know you do like SRF. That's one of the names that you mentioned to us. So take us through the rationale there. What is the kind of up move that you see on this stock as well?
Oh, yeah. So I think you rightly mentioned, so markets have been mostly range-bound. For the last 1.5 years, we are seeing this. I think the mean of the market is somewhere around 17,000. And previously the FIs were selling, but I have seen now, because the dollar is, you know, seems to be topping out. I think some kind of FI flow is likely to be there in the emerging markets now. But it is looking at the value pockets, because we had seen this move coming into China from the month of October. And that time India was a little, richly valued. But now the Indian markets also have come down by almost 2,000 points. And we either you look at internally valuation perspective, or you look at from the relative terms perspective, the Indian markets valuations have become attractive. So our premium over the emerging markets now has declined from 105% in the month of October to now 62%. And that is where, you know, some stock specific opportunities are definitely coming in. There are businesses which are definitely doing good on the domestic front. So for example, when I look at one of the biggest consumer theme in India, I think it is air conditioners. And we are moving towards a period where, you know, more heat waves are likely to be there. There may be an El Nino impact. And I think that is where the companies in the cooling part, which were running at a capacity utilization of around 70%, now they have moved to 90%. And because of the ban of the government that the refrigerant gases, which used to be assembled with air conditioners, it used to happen outside, now it is happening in India. We had seen that the market share of these refrigerant gas providers had zoomed up. Fluorine chemistry, I think, is something that we look at, because it is more reactive, very difficult to handle substance. But now we are seeing that the companies like Navin Fluorine or SRF or Gujarat Fluorochemical, which are there in this area, they are really doing good. So SRF particularly, I think a high growth component, which is also available at a relatively fine, valuations now. It has spent 1.5 years. I think the stock seems to be ready. And the earnings growth going forward in the coming quarters is likely to be much better now. And I think this is where these kind of stories are, you know, coming up. And that is where we need to focus. Air conditioning has only 6% penetration in India. And I think the time has come when the B2B companies, the vendor companies to the main OEMs are like, because OEMs are under some kind of, you know, competitive pressure. In the AC, we have seen that Voltas, which had a market share of 25%, it declined to 23%. The stock also declined because there was a competitive pressure from Japanese. And Daikin and Hitachi, they are also. So I think go one step back and look at the B2B players like SRF. I think that is how the money can be made.
Amit, morning. Another stock that you like and you hold in your PMS is Mahindra & Mahindra, M&M. There are concerns about growth slowing down. So the UV business, which has seen a growth of perhaps more than 50% in FY23, is likely to slow down to high single digits next year. That's what some estimates throw up, because of the higher cost of emission norms, because of rural demand waning, pent-up demand also coming to an end. Would you not be a bit concerned about growth slowing down in M&M weighing on the stock?
So, see, there are 3-4 parts here. I mean, one is, the rural area, obviously it was in distress in the last 1 year. But we had not seen that kind of slowdown coming into the tractor business. We had a meeting with the Mahindra management, and we had the same discussion that when FMCG companies, they are crying out that they had the downtrading happening in their products, why the same thing is not happening with tractors? So they said that once the things are related to the business line of the farmers, that is not being impacted. And the tractor business actually is growing now. So it's a different aspect. Once you have a higher sale actually in one particular year, the next year, maybe because of the base effect, it can be lower. But in terms of absolute, I think a good sales number you can see. Another, I think the passenger vehicle sales has been a record high in the last year. And we have seen close to 39 lakh vehicles being sold. Generally, how much we used to see? 32, 33, 2018, 19, I think somewhere 28, 29 lakh vehicles also we saw. And this 39 lakh vehicles were sold on the back of the unavailability of semiconductors also. So that shows that this demand is picking up really nicely. And this passenger vehicle, where now SUVs have 48% market share. I think every 2 vehicles, one is SUV. So those companies which are focusing more on the SUV, I think they are going to do good. So Mahindra, I think, comes in that bucket, and they have done really well in SUVs. We have seen some kind of profit booking. I think before the El Nino impact, the stock had declined from 1400 to 1100 something. My sense is there may be some period of time correction, but eventually the stock will grow and move towards 1800 kind of levels now in the coming months. Now, another player, I think Maruti, that we have taken in the portfolio because we believe that is also moving into SUVs. And that is going to regain the lost share now, because Maruti had lost the share. It was not coming out with any major SUV. Now you have seen a couple of launches now in the recent Auto Expo. And that is where the company, which has come down in relative terms in a very good valuations now. It used to be 55 times, now it is 24 times. And I think that is where the growth will start coming in here. It may be, it has already spent a lot of time near 8,000. I think from here, slowly you will see the growth.
Okay, all right. Thanks very much, Amit. We will wrap it up on that note. Good to speak with you today. Well, with that, we'll take a quick break. Market continues to build on incremental gains, 45 points up on the Nifty. Back with more in just a bit.